In a land where the sun always smiled and the wind sang soft lullabies, there was a magical forest filled with wonders. The trees shined with leaves that sparkled like emerald jewels, and the flowers glowed in every color imaginable. This forest was home to many creatures: talking squirrels, dancing butterflies, and mischievous fireflies that lit up like tiny lanterns at night. One bright morning, the forest awoke, buzzing with excitement. Today was the day of the great magical forest race. All the animals and magical beings gathered near the ancient twisting oak tree where the race would begin. The path of the race was no ordinary race course. It curved around crystal-clear streams that sang sparkling songs, wound underneath arches of rainbow-colored vines, and climbed up hills covered in soft, glowing moss. The finish line was at the top of the tall hill where the view stretched all the way to the sparkling ocean in the distance. Among the racers was a little creature, smaller than most, with bright, curious eyes and a wildly fluffy tail that twitched with excitement. Despite being small, this tiny competitor had a heart full of courage and a mind buzzing with clever plans. As the sun climbed higher, a wise old owl perched on a branch signaled the race to start by hooting loudly. With a burst of energy, the racers dashed forward into the magical forest. The tiny creature sprinted with surprising speed, darting through trees and hopping over roots. Nearby, a group of friendly squirrels leapt from branch to branch, their tails flashing like ribbons in the wind. Butterflies fluttered alongside, guiding the racers with shimmering trails. Soon, the path took the racers to a sparkling stream with stepping stones that gleamed under the sunlight. Here, many stumbled, but the tiny racer used a clever trick, leaping lightly on the stones without getting wet, moving faster than the others. Next came a mysterious grove filled with glowing flowers that hummed soft tunes. The flowers' gentle light made it tricky to see the best path, but the tiny racer followed a firefly's flickering glow, finding a shortcut that few noticed. As the forest thickened, the racers reached a hill blanketed with fluffy, glowing moss. The moss was soft but sticky, making it harder to climb. The bigger racers struggled, but the tiny one made it up quickly by using small hops and slippery leaves as footholds. At last, the tiny creature emerged at the top of the hill where the finish line awaited. The crowd cheering below filled the air with joy and excitement. But then, a sudden problem arose. A strong gust of wind blown from the ocean scattered the race's magical ribbon, the symbol of victory, high into the air. It floated far away, almost out of reach. Without hesitation, the tiny racer dashed down the hill, more determined than ever. Through swaying branches, past curious animals, and over twinkling streams, the tiny competitor chased the fluttering ribbon. Finally, with a giant leap fueled by hope and courage, the tiny racer caught the ribbon just before it could disappear into the shimmering ocean waves. Returning to the top, the tiny creature held the magical ribbon high. The crowd erupted with cheers, celebrating the heart and smartness of the smallest racer who never gave up. That day, the magical forest learned something wonderful. Bravery comes in every size, and clever thinking can win any race.